Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Saturday Morning Dad Jokes. I am Tom.
And I am Mike.
Welcome. This is episode
15.
15. Wow, time
The big
flies.
1-5. Time does fly.
We're almost able to drive one more year. Or one more episode, I should say.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're gonna bring you a couple original dad jokes, I think,
Yes.
and then you were gonna also, I think, share because it's your week, it's your episode to share a
It
pre-digested one.
is. It is my episode to share a pre-digested joke. Again, I haven't left the MSN page
Oh, jeez.
that Claire Nowak and Carol Fanning, they never probably has this article been mentioned so much.
Yeah, right.
These writers. But yeah, I've read through a couple jokes, and I think I found one that I liked. So yeah,
Go for
so
it.
we'll see.
I'm ready.
Okay,
Got
ready?
my seatbelt on. Yep.
Okay. Why do cows wear bells?
Why do cows wear bells? I don't know.
Because their horns don't work.
I like that one.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. It was.
Pretty
It was
good.
definitely dad joke material.
Yeah, I thought so.
I like to consider myself a modern man, but I still, I'll be honest with you, I still struggle with the fact that we are quoting two potential female authors of this article that we're not dads. But I can I can get
But I'm
behind.
not. I'm technically not a.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a
I know.
dog father.
I know that's true. We're like we are openly affirming.
There have been requests that this podcast be called Bad Jokes
Bad.
and Dad Jokes.
That's true.
Um,
That is true.
uh,
That's true.
there have been official requests from official communication lines that not even mediated messages, but
Yep. That's true.
interpersonal interactions that I've had.
Yep. That's very true.
But also knowing that doing anything graphic intensive to change the title and logo is kind of a pain.
Yep. What I will promise the viewer that if we are going to make that change, the first time that we get some money in terms of related to YouTube,
Oh yeah.
we'll devote it to getting it rebranded. If that's
Oh
how's,
yeah.
how's that? How's
I
that
like
for?
that.
Yeah, right. So as soon as we're monetized, which will
As
probably
soon
be
as we
about
get like what, a nickel, 25 cents.
right.
You ought to say a certain amount of money.
That's true because it could
It
be.
has to pay for it.
It has to pay for it. So yeah, as soon as we hit if we get like a check for $100, $150 from YouTube, then we'll do it. But we're probably at this rate 7.5 years away from being able to monetize.
Which is interesting because you have the graphics done through Fiverr,
I did. Yeah.
not to promote Fiverr, but it's not technically it, which I didn't understand, and you pointed out to me that it's not really $5.
Used to be when it first started many years ago. But
Oh, okay. But now it's
yeah,
people can.
well, because people were getting taken advantage of, like artists were getting robbed
yeah.
for their talents. But even
Yeah.
then, it's still affordable. I guess the people that did this logo were like in the Czech Republic or somewhere where obviously the American dollar goes a lot further. So it's kind of economy of scale. You see less U.S. based artists on Fiverr and a lot of international. So I guess if I can help some folks out that maybe don't have a solid income source, like maybe their counterparts that might be doing the same kind of things in the United States, I'm glad to do that. But I think for somebody trying to make a living in the United States off of Fiverr, even with its current model being a higher price, it would be really difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, we can do the same thing if we get monetized. So
Yeah.
all right, so
I don't know about the song though. I don't know if we'll be able to hire a band.
No, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people that really hate that song. But I mean, it's memorable. The worst part is even my son can he does the intro song with some kind of weird whistle slash hum.
I mean, it is. I I wrote the song.
Hmm.
I'll take full credit, and it is obnoxious.
Yeah.
It is truly like
Hmm.
there's punk rock and post rock and just plain awful, obnoxious, ear piercing sounds.
There are, there's some uh, services out there that will let us do some royalty-free music intros, but once again,
No,
we have to be able to get to the point where we can afford to do something like that if we really wanted to, or we could just
right.
have. You could spend another year like developing a new song, but
Well, what I'd actually like to do is to hire a full chorus to maybe sing it.
that would be awesome. I might be able to talk. I'll talk to my church choir, see what they see if they'd be
Can you all
willing.
do this? It's just like, what?
Yep.
Yeah. So, you got a joke?
Um, I do have a joke. It's really my creative juices have not been flowing, mainly because I've just been going. My family's been going traveling a lot. It's been this is taking place around kind of the mid part of the summer, so we haven't been home much and haven't had time to slow down to even think about jokes. But I did unintentionally say a dad joke yesterday, and this is actually this was not something that I thought to make up, but I also saw an opening for me to tell a dad joke in public with some of my colleagues at work,
Mm.
and it was instantly identified as a dad joke, probably because it was so bad. But here it goes. So I'll set up the scene. It's walking down the hallway at the university I work with. I had two of my colleagues, and one of them said, "Yeah, there's a hurricane going, kind of passing off the east coast of the United States right now, or a tropical storm." Um, this kind of also setting the scene. And she brought up the fact, she's like, "Yeah, New York City, the subway is currently flooded." And I was like, "No, I hadn't heard that." She's like, "Yeah, like they've had to shut it down. Like it's really bad." And I, of course, instantly said, "Well, this might be one of the few times you actually need a submarine to take the subway." And she laughed. And then the other colleague said, "That sounds just like a dad joke." And I said, "I'm not sure if I would give it dad joke status, but I might be searching for a dad joke tomorrow," because this was yesterday. And yeah, here we are.
Well, I will. I'm just gonna. What is our scale of 1 to 5?
It changes every week, but yeah, I think we're
'Cause
still. I think we're still on the 1 to 5. Yep.
I have a Discord channel. I'm obsessed with reviews before I review your joke, which is very good.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and with that Discord, I set up a scale of it's basically 0 to 4,
Oh.
but that's still 5, right? So you can have a 0 for no attempt, and I had this whole crazy rubric to review movies because I'm kind of loathe and am obsessed with reviews.
Is this you
As
just
a,
reviewing them by yourself, or do you go on and you actually do this on a
no, it's a Discord channel. It's a
somebody else? Somebody else formed the channel.
no, I made it.
Oh, you made it. Okay.
I made it for film people. I think I sent you an invite. I will send you an invite. But so I go on and I had a channel in the Discord called Quick Reviews,
Okay.
and I would just like because I didn't want to write out what I actually thought. I just wanted to say like, here's a
Yeah.
rubric. 4 is great cinema. There were some other kind of qualifiers, but I'll just list the name of the movie and then I'll write the number.
Cool.
And I kind of liked it because there's also a way for me to track what nobody else is really participating at this point. It's largely me.
Yeah, kind of like this podcast. Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like this podcast, but I'm trying to build some form of community.
Gotcha.
But yeah, anyway, I couldn't remember if this we were doing 4. Or, kind of actually, I like the 4 scale.
Right, because you don't like anything you can settle in the middle on. I got you.
Yeah, but the 0 you still can.
Yeah, I guess
if
you can.
If
That's
you
true.
didn't try, you
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would say this is for the fact that you wrote it on the fly. and did it live and had somebody say,
And I had the courage to say it in front of people, because that's the other thing. Like in the past, I would have been like, "Oh no, I can't say that." Like people are gonna think I'm
yeah,
really not right. Yeah.
I would say, just, I mean, if you wrote it before the cast, I'd probably say 4. But I'm just going to award you a 5 for basically
Wow.
for entering into your final form. It's like you're like, here I am.
Right. I've embraced it at this point. That's true. That's very true.
You've actually come out. You're just like, hey, I'm going to drop this
Yeah.
right here.
Right. And I know what I'm about. And I know what I'm about to drop.
And in all serious too, I think I mean, just to pause a moment, you're talking about an ecological disaster.
Yeah.
And I do think that there is a value in humor sometimes to let us
That's true.
understand and cope with not poking fun
Right.
of something that's horrible and that impacts people's lives.
Yeah.
But humor as a survival mechanism, or just a mechanism to sort of think through and process stuff. So I think that bringing a little levity to something in. You're not poking fun at the situation.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. It's a safe way to do it without.
It's a safe way to do it.
Yeah. Creating any collateral damage. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that you wrote it on the fly and had the audacity to be like, "Hey, colleagues."
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you.
I give you 5 for that.
Audience-wise, it sounds like we've covered that. Like you think for the most part it's safe.
Yeah, I would say a politician, maybe not.
Right.
Because
I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Because you tread into
being a little insensitive from a politician standpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the media would spin it. The partisan, the hyper partisan media.
Yes.
Would take that and blow it out of context, which is why our media ecosystem is so dumb.
How do you really feel? Yeah.
I would take time here to promote a website that I love called allsides.com. It's a fascinating website. This is not a plug from them or anything, but they.
But you use it and you find value.
I love
in
it.
Yeah.
It's really great. What they do is they take one headline a day, one big headline in America, typically a day.
Which America? North America, South America? Which America?
North America.
Okay. By the way, just as a quick side note, we had an exchange student at one point, and she made a point of saying that people that live in South America get really upset.
Yeah.
When people just say America, because like there's more than one America.
There is, right. The Americas.
And it's like it's very, what's the word? I don't know. Isolationist when you say
well,
we're the America.
Well, then could you though if you say I'm from America.
Yeah, I know, right? That's true.
If you put that little American.
Yeah, that's a good point. But anyway, just wanted to, as a side note.
Right. The United States, typically a headline in the U.S., and they do a very short blurb explaining what the topic is. And then beneath that, they typically have a second very short paragraph. It's like 2 or 3 sentences that tells you how the right, center, and left are spinning the story. And then beneath that, they have 3 links to major media outlets.
To basically
and they
show that.
They have a bias scale. So they say this is, a right leans right. This one center. This is a left. And the site is run by a series of their journalists and academics, I assume, but they have all sorts of political persuasions. I love it. It's so
Where did you hear about it?
I heard about it from a book that I read last summer on fake news.
Because you were teaching at like a media class.
Yeah. Students are fascinated by fake news.
Sure.
So I read a book. The book's okay. It was kind of, I feel it was a little maybe quickly written, but it had some cool stuff in it, and that was one thing that I learned from the book, that website.
Do you use the website? Do you use the website with with your students?
Yeah, I told him about it.
Just curious.
But I haven't integrated it into an assignment
Not
yet.
yet, but it's coming. I can tell.
But yeah, it will come. Like I was at first, I think too. I was concerned that, and now we're getting way off topic of our dadcast. But I was concerned that is this a legitimate site? But I've been following it now for probably 6 months
Oh yeah,
or so.
that's long enough to figure out if it's legit.
And I feel that it's pretty legit. And they also have some educational components. It is a for-profit organization, interestingly, rather than a nonprofit. And I think to even talk about that, like why, everybody would think we should be a nonprofit, but there are some, and me personally having served on some nonprofits, it's it's and work for profit organizations as well. There are reasons why I could see it actually working for better as a for-profit, but they address all that. Anyway, it's a cool site.
You said they have an app now?
They have an app. I have it on my phone, and I check it pretty much every morning. And they really do. They hit the big story. So today's story was, I hadn't heard of this person, but it's a police chief.
In Ohio?
No, it's somebody who's running for politics.
Oh, okay.
Thought it was maybe a Brooklyn.
Gotcha.
I don't know. There wasn't a lot of spin on it, or it kind of said the outlets were kind of the same.
Gotcha.
And then maybe no, actually it was Biden's attempting to fire that was the story today. The guy won't resign.
Is it the postal guy? Is it
Somebody, yeah. Somebody that he fired. I don't know. So it's interesting. Like I really like it because you don't get that even if you read.
Sure.
I don't have the time to go read every single news outlet out there.
Yeah.
But anyway, I thought it was a cool service. I recommend it. All sides, and they have an app that you can put on your phone or your iPad, and they also have a website, which is good as well.
Good. Well, the nice part is we still have 1 or 2 sponsorship opportunities available if they're looking to sponsor our podcast. All right.
We need those graphics.
We need those graphics soon.
We will be a for-profit.
So I think I got through my joke, and then you have your original joke to.
I do, and I feel that we've switched hats because your joke had a whole story today.
Right? Yeah, it used to be the other way around. You're right. Yeah.
And I have a short joke again.
I love it.
Okay, here we go. Why did the traffic light get thrown in jail?
Why did the traffic light get thrown in jail?
Because it was flashing.
I like it. Yep.
That's my flash, by the way.
Yeah, I
that's
got
what
it.
I'm doing with my hands.
Yes. No, I appreciate the clarification, but I also assume that. But for anybody else that maybe assumed differently, I appreciate you clarifying. Yes. I liked it. That's good. Yeah.
Nothing groundbreaking.
my mind was going to because it was on the blink, but then I was thinking the brink, and then I started playing with some word association there, but I didn't quite obviously get it, and then luckily you.
I think if the other person guesses the joke, you automatically lose a point.
Oh well, thank God, because you don't really have anything to worry about there. As a side note, not to get off topic, but I learned yesterday as I was driving to a minor league baseball game with my family that my son was somehow brought up the fact that something could be made into a dad joke, and then he said, "But Dad, you need to stop because that was a bad joke." He actually said it was a bad joke or something, and he's like, "There are some jokes out there, Dad, that are just bad," and and I said, "Yeah, it's kind of like the one who's buried in Grant's tomb, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, Dad." And I was like, well, it's kind of it's supposed to catch people, some people, I don't know who's buried in Grant's tomb. It's like, it's Grant. And he's like, Dad, I don't get it. And then I said, well, everybody's heard that. You'll eventually hear it. And then my wife was like, I've never heard that. And I was like, What?
What?
Yeah, so this is ultimately where I was getting at.
Time out.
Right. I was like, okay, we got to take a few steps back. This is kind of like when she told me before we got married that she had never seen any of the Star Wars movies, and I'm like, we can't get married until we've at least seen one of the or half of a Star Wars movie, because I really felt like she might be from another planet. So this whole like I've never heard who's buried in Grant's tomb. Like, am I showing my age? Is it because it's like a Civil War joke? I don't know. I really
I feel like it's not. It's almost like I don't even. That's one of those things. That's interesting that you mentioned that joke.
yeah. It's not really a joke either.
It's
I
not.
guess.
Yeah, it's gone beyond.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like who's buried in Grant's tomb. I feel like it's like something that people say.
Right.
It's almost
Right.
What is that? Aphorism.
Yeah, I started to say it's an ism of some sort, but yeah.
But that might be the wrong word.
But I know what you're saying though. Yeah, I was trying to think of what the term was too.
Yeah, a pithy observation that contains a general truth, such as if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Which is kind of like that right there is kind of a joke, right?
Right.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
But it's one of these things that people just say. Yeah, I'm sort of shocked that
Right.
she's never heard it either.
Right.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, I think at some point the whole like, what do you call a teenage cicada is eventually going to be in that same category. Like people are like, oh, what do you call it?
it will. Yes.
Just kidding. I'm just joking.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get away from your joke. Yeah, your traffic light. I like it. What would I give it? I'd give it a 4. Give it a solid 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't figure it out, so that automatically keeps it
It gives
above
it
board.
1 point.
I did roll my eyes. Yeah, it was witty.
So if it gets an eye roll, you didn't figure it out. So there you go.
Yeah, and then and it was also quick. Like, me, like I appreciate the minimalistic joke that doesn't require a lot of backstory. And not that I've been practicing that lately,
Right.
but I'm one of those people that thinks the quicker you can get to the punchline, the better.
Yeah.
That this it can kind of stand on its own, and this is one of those that can stand on its own. And you didn't even need to do the nonverbal, miming of the flashing, but
I know. I was just inspired.
Yeah.
At the moment.
at the moment, felt like you had to do something
I
with
was
your
like,
hands.
hey, I could do something with my hands.
Yeah, right. It's rare that we get to do that. Yeah. So yeah, I give it a 4. I'd say, you're not really gonna offend anybody with that joke.
It does have it has a, I mean, there is technically a person who flashes. I mean, there's that, technically.
Technically,
I was watching a John Waters film the other day with my wife.
is that where you got?
I can't even talk about it on air, and it's like this scene where there's a flasher, and
Oh yeah, you told me about it.
it's like,
off air.
oh
yeah.
my! She's like, would that hurt? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
The audience, you can use your imagination.
Yeah.
What actually I saw. If you,
Yeah.
if you haven't and you're of age, do yourself a favor and go watch Pink Flamingos.
Or don't.
or don't.
Right.
Don't. Just read about the greatest hits of that film.
Yeah, that's
A
true.
piece of cinema there.
That's true. He is he should be regarded as a national heritage
Treasure.
treasure. Yes. John Walters is
Waters.
Waters. Thank you, not Walters. That guy is from Ohio, by the way. Yeah. But anyway,
John Waters.
Yeah.
Walters.
I think so. The
Who's
comedian.
John Walt?
Wasn't John
I can't even
Walters?
say it now. I
Yeah.
got Waters.
Walters.
Walter.
I think John
Waters.
Walters.
Walter.
I'm thinking of the comedian, but anyway, I might be.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's before I dig myself any deeper. Anyway.
Let's
John
pause.
Waters. Yes. Let's pause. Right. This is where you see an edit in the tape, and it goes.
Yes.
No. Cool. Yeah. So right, there's a slight chance that you're going to offend some.
Or it might not be appropriate. Like a kid would say, "What's
True.
What I don't get it. What is a, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
So I did wonder that. Is it appropriate for all ages?
That's true. I don't know that I thought all the way through.
And that's also not to necessarily pass judgment on somebody who's into that. But it
No,
is
I
just
think it's
to
okay
say
to
that
pass judgment.
from a standpoint of the law is
Yeah.
still kind of, you're not really allowed to do that.
Not really. No, not allowed to do that. Like there's
There
not.
are some parades out here in the PNW where like people bicycle naked through
Yeah, but
Portland
see,
or
that's
something.
not flashing. That's just
That's a
different.
community
Yeah.
of people who are into that,
Right.
which is cool.
Right. And usually you're given warning that they're coming or that they're going to be in that area or that like it's not a surprise. They don't
Right.
go from being fully clothed to not and then back to being fully clothed in seconds. Hence
Right.
flashing. But yes, I'm with
But they
you.
had that at didn't they have that at Washington College? Wasn't there May Day or something?
We had May Day, yep. Every May 1st.
Did you participate in that?
I did not participate. No, I was too tight laced to do anything like that. I mean, I participated in terms of like I had to see things. So, but
At your window.
yeah, right. I'm monitoring.
I'm coming right down. I'm coming. I'll be down in a minute.
I mean, it was so bad that they would put towels at the crosswalks that would go across the state, the state roads because the state troopers would sit at the crosswalks and wait for somebody to walk across that was not clothed
Oh.
because it was at that point no longer private property.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
So the college, or I'm not sure if the college provided them or if it was a fraternity or sorority.
Interesting.
Somebody would put out
There you go.
stacks of clean towels for people to grab before they crossed the street so they wouldn't get arrested.
The law still had no time for it. Mm-hmm. Yep, you cannot. Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, but the real festivities happened at night around the maypole, so to speak.
Oh, there was a maypole.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw the maypole. It might have been the flagpole. I really don't know. But yes,
Wow.
and it was on the lawn of campus, and usually there would be like they would try to do like mudslides and stuff like that, and yeah, it was just
No. No thanks.
yeah, it was like Burning Man before there was Burning Man, but yeah,
Hey.
on a much
hey,
smaller scale.
Bucket list, Tom.
No, not really. No, I'm good.
Don't want to get in like a Mad Max truck and
Well, I would like a Mad Max truck, but not to go to Burning Man. Just to
drive naked through the desert.
just to go camping. Yeah, I think take it on the,
Listen
on
to
the
some
salt flats.
music at a like 200 BPM.
Yeah, and drive through the salt flats in Utah or wherever they are. Yeah, that would be fun. I could do that
Yeah.
with not a person around. Yeah,
I think
and my wife on the turret, like with a machine gun. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
hey, I'm just throwing it out there. I've threatened my wife that we'll go there at some point, and she's like, no.
Burning Man. I don't think Burning Man's not even what it used to be. Like I'm not even sure it's. Gonna,
I know it's
yeah,
kind of
it's turned into like
yeah.
South by Southwest, which has now become a whole.
Industry.
Yeah.
Onto itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Commercialized. But anyway.
Well, how about South by Southwest?
Holy
Can we
cow,
do that?
37 minutes. Jeez Louise.
Oh my God. No, it's only 28.
Is it really?
Yeah, I got it. I got my clock here.
Oh, I see. I see it now. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong one. I like how I get all like buzzed up for nothing. Yeah, 28 on the right
Yeah,
timer.
we might sign off though.
Probably a good idea if anybody's going to watch in the future to cut it off
Right.
here. Yeah.
Have a good week.
Yes. Enjoy your
Be
week.
well.
Stay safe. Stay cool if you're in a hot area and it's still
Yeah.
summer. If it's winter when you're watching this, I guess our timing sucks, or your timing sucks in terms of when you're watching. See you next week.
See you next week.